Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm your friendly international snowboard gear guide, James Beastie. I'm here with the Nidecker Gamma APX and the Gamma. Gotta say, it's always fun to get out on ASIM twins. I rode this with Union Atlas, Nidecker K-On X bindings, Nidecker Rift lace and Ride Fuse boots. Inside my boots, I had the King Foam Orthotic Elite insoles. I got this in good groomers and some uneven snow. I primarily compared these against each other, but on one day I did take out the Yes Greats to see how that compared. So when it comes to sizing, this 157 fit me the way I'd want it to. I wouldn't want to size up if they had another size, and I definitely wouldn't want to size down. Now, when it comes to the shape, this is an asymmetrical twin. It has a shorter, deeper side cut on the heel side, a longer, shallower side cut on the toe side. The tip and tail are different shapes as well, but what you really feel is the asymmetrical side cuts. They really change the way you turn this board, ride switch on this board. It's just really symmetrical if you're set up centered and perfectly duck. That makes both of these Gammas come alive. And with this camber profile, hybrid camber into some lifted sides, for the most part, I really didn't feel much washiness like you can get with some lifted sides. And it's very easy to skid turns. Now, let's talk flex here. You can see there's a medium stiff flex between the feet, but when you get into the tip and tail, you can see down here, there's a lot of give. There's a little more energy too that comes back with the Gamma APX versus the Gamma, but the spoon nose and spoon tail really make it washy on a butter because you have that spoon there. So when you lean into the nose or tail too much, it just wants to slide out. It's very hard to get this to press. I wish there was some flat area right here instead of just a round spoon. That could help me butter a little better because that's what I love doing on asymmetrical twins. But when it comes to ollie power and getting air, I'm very impressed with how the Gamma APX performs. It's definitely a level up from the Gamma, but the Gamma isn't a slouch either. It's a very poppy board. This just has a little more easily accessible, more dynamic pop coming out of it. Uneven terrain, this Gamma APX does not shit the bed. Usually the upper tier models really don't do well there, and I was very impressed with how well it does for the high-end poppier model. It doesn't feel much lighter, so maybe that's why. There's a different construction. They do a kind of a cap style construction versus a traditional sidewall construction, but I did like the way this construction felt on snow, so I wouldn't really factor that too much into your purchasing decision. This did a little better in softer, uneven snow than the Gamma. The Gamma did better in harder, micro bumpy snow versus the Gamma APX, but both were good, not great. You can ride these all day and not have too many issues. Now, when it comes to speed and base glide, yes, I felt the Gamma APX was a little bit faster, and you definitely get a little more for this price point. You also get a faster base. The glide was a little bit better. Not that the Gamma's that bad at all. Nidecker does a very good job at giving you a good base for this price point. Now, when it comes to edge hold, very good, not exceptional. I thought the Spoon Tech might make this a little less grippy in harder snow, but it did a very good job. It's no ice specialist, it's no hard snow specialist, but if you get some surprise patches, this will do fine. Now, when it comes to how this board turns, I would say it's very medium fast to fast when it comes to initiating a turn. It went wherever I wanted it, whenever I wanted it to go there. Then when you get this board on edge and you start to engage in a wide variety of turning radiuses, this does pretty well. It's balanced enough, but I think it lives a little bit on the turny side. And that's fine for people like me who love to make quick turns, to make across the groomer carves, to make circle carves, and like more down the line, almost a straight line in your turn when it comes to carving. It's just a little more springy, a little more poppy. It feels a little more stiff and it holds throughout the carve a little better, and then gives you that great spring out of the turn at the end. Now when it comes to powder, I didn't get any, but I felt the spoon nose on the Alpha and the Alpha APX in powder, and it was really special. Now when it comes to switch and park riding, this rides switch so well. For me, being weaker as a switch rider, like almost everybody is, this is great because that asymmetrical twin being perfectly symmetrical just makes it easier to turn edge to edge. So when you throw it around switch, it turns better switch for me than even true twins. I didn't mind this at all in the pipe. When it comes to kickers, I didn't hit any big kickers, but I could see the Gamma APX being the better call for that over the Gamma just because of its stiffer flex, its faster base. Jibbing is good as long as you don't get that spoon nose and tail engaged into the jib, because then you could get a little washy, but if you keep it between the feet, it's fine. So overall, I think the only thing I really didn't like about this board was how hard it was to butter with the spoon nose and tail, but everything else about this board really lit up. I liked it better than the Gamma. Usually I don't feel that way about the Plus, the APX models, but I just appreciated this extra pop without too much extra chatter, and I wish more brands would do that. And I think it offers a lot more than the Gamma at a reasonable price up from there.